Did you miss me? I missed me. No, not really. I have been busy as heck. I keep saying that November was like 100 years in 30 days. Maybe 1,000 years in 30 days. I don't know. But I've been missing in action for longer than just November. Have I not? Conscious coffee became a thing of the past, but here I am. I decided that, gosh, it was 4 or 5 years ago when I started Conscious Coffee, and I started it on December 1st of whatever year that was. And yesterday I was out walking with Addison and talking to her, and I'm like, tomorrow's December 1st, and I should just start Conscious Coffee back up. I need to just get my ass in line and just get going, and that's that because I have just been procrastinating on doing Conscious Coffee, which is absolutely silly because I love Conscious Coffee. I've had so many people ask me, like, when are you going to do it? What's going on? I miss your live streams. I miss the, your conversations about different stuff. And then I just decided, well, here I am. I am going to end 2020 starting Conscious Coffee for its second or third run here. So today's conversation is going to be about relationship alignment, something that is very prevalent in my life that I have been analyzing and looking at, something that I see going on with friends, family, and clients, because I may have not been doing Conscious Coffee. I may not be writing my musings as much right now these days, and you're going to learn why in just a moment, but I still have been seeing clients and still, doing my work with some beautiful, beautiful souls out there. So let's get the question of where the fuck have I been, right? Where rock have I been hiding under, or what planet have I been located on? Wow. Well, a lot has happened over the course of 2020, as I think it has for many of us. 2020 in my case has been a fucking phenomenal year. I love 2020, and I know that might sound crazy to so many people out there, and all the crazy election stuff going on still, and just the whole thing with COVID and our lockdowns and our concerns with health and racism and police brutality, you name it. We've been through a lot this year, have we not? And there's just been all this kind of stuff, and a lot of it has been really earth-shaking for a lot of people. There's been a lot of bankruptcies, a lot of divorces, a lot of violence, a lot of just really nasty shit going on in our world. But here's the thing, that nasty shit has been occurring even without all this stuff that we have going on right now. The only difference is that right now in today's time, we have a massive spotlight on the shit. And we're all seeing it, and we're all focusing in on these different controversial items, which really shouldn't be controversial because they're shit, and shit is shit in my opinion. So, it's like, hey, why can't we just call it for what it is, right? It's just that we have this spotlight on there. So we are very focused on the negative that has been occurring through 2020, making it seem like, oh my gosh, I wish that 2020 would get over because, if we can just make it to 2021, then everything will be better. And there's that running meme out there that says, what if 2021 says to 2020, hey, hold my beer? And the reality is that might actually be the case. That is what is coming, because you cannot go through such an astronomical changing year as 2020 has been. It has been a fundamental birthing year. We have been doing some hard labor, as I like to look at it, all year long. We have really become witness to so many different things. And in my book, that's exciting. It is transformation. And in my line of work, which is transformation work that I do with people, getting people really focused in on who they are at their core, living their dream life. And we live our dream life by becoming more of who we are at our core. And guess what? It's not a pretty process. It is not a pretty process. Sometimes it is scary as fuck. It is, just terrifying. It is painful. We go, why are we doing this to ourselves? We want to quit left and right. We don't think that we have enough energy for it. And we go, but I want change. I want expansion. I want growth. I want love. I want abundance. I want health. I want this. I want that. And we think that that's all so amazing and so beautiful, and we want it, but we don't want to have to go through the pain to get it. We don't understand that in any birthing process, there's a lot of blood and tears and agonizing pain, and change does not occur without chaos. It does not occur without massive pushing and this force that has to happen. And when we look at our world today, that's exactly what is going on in 2020. And I predict 2021 is going to have some more stuff with it like that. Just that shit is definitely going to it's going to come up more. So there's my prediction. If I'm psychic, which I have been known to be a little bit every now and then with a few certain people, but yeah, if I'm psychic for the world, then just, mark my words. So next year you guys can say, oh yeah, hey, Kendal got that right. 2021 saying it's still going, the growth, the transformation, all the stuff. I just don't think that we're going to hit January 1st and be like on easy breezy street and everything's just going to be hunky dory and we're never going back to what we had before, ever. Our world has forever changed. That's just not the United States, that is the world. But that's why I find 2020 fucking phenomenal, absolutely spectacular, is because we are in a birthing year, and in any birthing year there is great chaos, there is great suffering and pain, and there is great beauty that happens. And it is how we choose to really view what is going on and how we choose to create our lives in the breaths that we take in that year. So we each have the ability to really focus in on our lives, on our thoughts, on our feelings, on how we are perceiving the life that we are living. So we get to perceive life from what we are actually seeing happen. And we can go, oh, well, there's all this bad stuff going on, and that means that my life needs to struggle, that I need to have this happen, I need to have that happen. We can start to go into scarcity mode. We can start to go into fear, and we can shut our energy down, and we can struggle and suffer and have fear and anxiety and depression and fighting and all this kind of stuff. Or we can actually breathe in and we can be a co-creator to our life, and we can take control of the thoughts that we're thinking, of the thoughts, the feelings that we're having, and we can start to actually manifest the life that we want. Because when we're feeling good, when we're happy, when we're in love, when we're turned on, when we're playful, when we can see possibility in life, and we realize that what we are really experiencing right now is not a thing of right now. What we have happening right this very second is occurring because of the thoughts, the feelings, the actions that we took yesterday. It's not what we are thinking and feeling right now, but we can shift our world by the thoughts and the feelings, and then the actions that we choose to take right now. So we can change the outside world. We can have great impact on the world by igniting ourselves like that and really being responsible for our thoughts and our feelings and the actions that we're taking. It is, I think, just a beautiful year. I do. I think it's a beautiful year. So here's some of the shit that's occurred in my life. I'm not really sharing. I have not been sharing too much over the course of this time. I have done a lot of traveling in 2020, despite everybody thinking that you can't travel and COVID has you locked down. I want you to know that's a bunch of bullshit, okay? I just want you to know that you can travel definitely around the United States. You can travel around your countries. You can go out. You can go do things. There's tons of beautiful activities. The world is not a scary place. People are still brilliant and beautiful out there. Very caring, very connective. People are wanting to make contact. I know that might be a scary thing for so many people out there, but again, it is a bunch of bullshit to think that there is like all of this danger coming on you, because again, it is just really, where are you at? What is your perception? What are you desiring in your life? We are definitely in a time where we need more connection, not less connection. We need to not be fearful of our neighbors, of the people in our world, of strangers on hiking trails. Oh my God, I was hiking up in the Ozarks weekend before last, and my lover and I were tobogging up the mountain. It took quite the hike. It said that it wasn't that long, but I think it was longer than what it proclaimed. And we're going up, and this guy's coming down, and he puts his mask up as soon as he sees us. And I kid you not, this man goes and he starts to like climb at the side of the mountain, like, like he's a wild animal trying to escape another wild animal. And as we're coming up, and my lover, he's like, I think we can make it. I think we can pass her. I think we're going to survive, man. And this guy is just like in total terror with his mask on. Like, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Like, oh my gosh, these people are breathing out here. And as soon as, we pass and everything, and like he comes back off of the rock wall there and proceeds down the mountain. But it was just like, I'm like, this is just a sign of our time, is it not? As to like how people are really, we're so scared of each other. And it is that fear that is holding us back. It really is. It's that fear that holds us back in our day-to-day lives. It's that fear that holds us back in our relationships. It's the fear that holds us back in so many different things. So 2020, there you go. A year of fear, but it doesn't have to be a year of fear. It can be a year of alignment. It can be a year of course adjustment. It can be a year of getting into your heart. It can be a year of really setting your desires out there and manifesting and having tons of joy and everything. And it's really like, what have you done with your 2020? Have you bought into all the bullshit and just kind of gone into hibernation and depression and scarcity and not having and fearing life? Because you are supported by life. We're all supported by life. And it's a beautiful support system that we have if we choose to open up to it. So yeah, so some of the shit of 2020. I don't know if I'll just give you the whole rundown. My grandson is in ICU. He's been there for, I think like 6 weeks already. It's been a rough, it was before Halloween. So, he's been there like 6 weeks and everything. He had open heart surgery, and he's right now, he's stable. He's doing good. It's been a good week. We are having a really good week. He had open heart surgery. He had some strange funky thing that happened in conception and, in utero, and should have been caught, did not get caught, got caught by my daughter's mommy intuition, and luck would have it that the universe sent her in to the pediatrician 24 hours before he crashed. So thank God for that. It was a miracle that she actually ended up in Children's Hospital here in Plano, and just 24 hours before everything, just like he was like right there, and little did we know, and he was just right there, and he crashed, and he had doctors and nurses right there within seconds, not minutes, which would have ended a different story there. Instead, it was seconds. So the miracle started in that moment of her just going, I really feel like I need to take him in. And she did that. And it's just been one of those processes. I had beautiful doctors come in from Australia. Some of the world leading doctors come in and work on him and do his surgeries. And it's just been, I've looked at it and watched her and her husband, just such a dynamic duo couple, strong power couple they are. They could not make me prouder. I'm going to get all cry just based on just thinking about their beautiful relationship. They are aligned. They are definitely a relationship alignment. And right now he's just in some recovery. He's really, just like getting him healthy, getting him strong. He's going to have a heart transplant somewhere in the near future. So getting him onto the heart transplant list. Feel free to send your love, your prayers out to little Damien, 20 months old, beautiful little baby that he is. He's been through a lot the last 6 weeks, as his mommy and daddy have too. But, he is such a little trooper, such a strong little soul. He just keeps conquering. He's just, it's amazing and beautiful to watch. And then my other daughter, my beautiful daughter, Rebecca, my photographer, oh my gosh, she's got her business up and going, people. So ladies, local ladies, if you want a photo shoot, I'm going to put out a little promo here from my babe, Rebecca Lynn, with Dandelion Images. And you can look her up here on Facebook for sure, or you can go to dandelioниmages.com, I believe is her website. But she has all of my photography and everything phenomenal. She's got her studio up and going, and she's just blossoming, and she's doing some power shoots for the ladies, really beautiful, empowerment, sexy, dynamic. If you got body image issues, if you got all that kind of stuff, well, she is definitely your girl to take some really amazing photography on that. And they've got their shit going on too. Her and her man, tons and tons of shit, just some drama going on. As you know, they were struggling. They've been going all year long in this nasty court case with their baby's mom and everything, with her man's ex-wife and everything. And it's just been kind of quite the saga. If you like sagas, they've got the saga going on, and it has definitely been quite the saga. But I don't know. I just feel like there's some changing gonna happen there. It's definitely gonna, I feel it's gonna just shift. I know that Damien's gonna pull through and just be conquering everything, and I know that Beck and her family are just going to just conquer, and everything's gonna just come through there. It's just this massive pushing, and which is what 2020 is all about. Is it is just pulling out the stuff and is putting right in front of us, and it's the stuff that's no longer needed. It's how do we conquer? How do we move through? How do we press through in flow and ease? in the feminine flow and ease, so that we can soften and that we can make the adjustments from our heart center, not from our ego center that the masculine will have us doing. Okay. And then I was in a 3-year relationship, and that's over as of late October. That relationship just went boom. And you know, I've been thinking, and here, this is a segue into the actual conversation, guys. So a 3-year relationship, beautiful relationship, so much gratitude for the relationship. I have sat the last 4 or 5 weeks out of that relationship and just really contemplated and looked at things, and I have so much love and gratitude for the experience and the relationship and the love and the play and the lessons that it definitely brought into my life. And it made me, I've kind of looked at all relationships that I've had over the course of, since I was 15, just relationships, but my primary ones being, I'm not going to take into account my high school boyfriend, even though he was a primary relationship, actually created the life that I have today in some silly fashion. He was the instigator of it. But my husband, father of my OG 5, as I call them, the original 5 children. And then I look at my other primary relationships throughout, all the way up to this one, and all the way up to the one that I am in current exploration with. And just looking at relationship and the alignment of each one, I can see how each one brought me to the next level, to that next lesson, to what I really needed to experience, to adapt, to gain in my life as far as a norm. So I'm going to give you just this little tidbit as to that, because I know that at this time there's a lot of people that I've gotten a lot of emails and inquiries from people that are looking at, how can I improve my relationship? COVID's really stressed our relationship. It's caused a lot of muck and, to rise up. It's caused some different issues. And there's people who are looking for love because they realized, wow, I just don't like being alone. Like I know what I want, like really gotten clear on what they want. There's people that are going through divorce. There's people who are going through domestic violence. And there's, financial losses and all this kind of stuff that really impacts relationship. And as I was looking back, I was looking at my marriage. I got married when I was 18, and I was married for 17 solid years of being married, living together. And it was, definitely 17 years of experience. And I look back now, of course, and I'm like, wow, like there was some beautiful fucking moments in that. And yeah, I got 5 amazing children, and strong as fuck children, as we just learned, right? Like some of the stuff that they're going through. But I looked at that relationship and I'm like, wow, I had so much instability in that relationship. We were financially unstable. We were emotionally unstable. We, residences. We had so many, I don't know how many houses and apartments I lived in the course of 17 years. Definitely more than 17. I can tell you that. Like it was like we were always moving because we weren't stable. Some days I didn't know if my power would be on. Some days I didn't know if my water would be on. Some days I didn't know if I had, if I could buy a $4 gallon of milk. I didn't know about how to handle anything because the finances were so unstable. And with that, there was, a lot of alcohol that was being consumed, poor choices. There was a business that was trying to get built. And there's a lot of stress, a lot of strain, a lot of immaturity, a lot of ego, a lot of finger pointing, blame, lack of responsibility, and a lot of growth. And during the course of that 17 years, I did some of my best growing, absorbing. I was such a sponge into really learning, and that's definitely been something that I've always been focused in on, is like trying to expand self. I knew, even when I was 18 years old, I knew, and here's the key point, guys, if you want to get aligned to the relationship of your dreams, then this is something that you absolutely must do. And this is like key, because anything that happens before you actually get on board with what I'm going to say here, It's just going to lead you to an educational relationship, okay? And that's what most of our relationships are, is they are educational relationships. They are teachers to us. They teach us what we want, what we need, who we really are, where we're weak. They teach us about the things that we don't want, right? They really they spotlight, kind of like what 2020 is doing for us. 2020 has been all about spotlighting the things that need to evolve, that need to be elevated in frequency and vibration so that they can change, so that they can manifest into something that is good. Because I'm a firm believer that there is more light in this world than there is darkness, okay? We just get fixated on the darkness, and then it seems like it's such a big monster over there, and it's because we're looking at it. And if we just change our focus to the good, then the light will become more expansive and better and bigger, and guess what? Our lives will improve. We will call in better things. It's where we choose to focus our attention. The same is true in relationship. In all relationships, not always, most relationships actually, are not meant to hang around for a lifetime. I know that we do the whole until death do we part thing, and that's just silly, especially when we're in a teaching relationship. And the majority of relationships are teachers to us. They are teaching us those things. So here I was 18. I got into a teacher relationship. I wanted the fuck away from my mom. I was heartbroken from my high school boyfriend breakup. I was lost in myself. I didn't know who I was. But at 18, I also knew that I needed to know who I was. So I did a lot of core finding work. And that's what it is. It is core finding work. Because if we are not aligned to our core as an individual, and we do not find completion inside ourselves, then guess what? We will always be attracted to somebody who is not aligned at their core, who does not know who they are, who is lost in some fashion, and they're going to be a broken person because we are a broken person. So as long as we remain broken, we will attract broken into our life. That's just the way it works. This is an attraction-based world that we live in, universe that we live in, okay? Energy is energy. We cannot lie. We cannot fake out. We cannot manipulate the energy. Our energy just is. And when we are not aligned at our core to who we are and really truly know ourselves and can stand strong in who we are and just know, because if we're wavering, if we're willing to give up our core self to appease, to make a relationship work, to be something that we are not, then we're not really strong in who we are. We're not complete. We are willing to sacrifice our hearts, our souls, our very being to what? To satisfy this over here, which is only going to lead us to bitterness and resentment and suffering and pain and loss and blah, 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 blah. And we're going to go into a repeat process. And we're just going to get into this repeat process. And then we're going to be like, man, why do I always attract the same kind of person into my life? It always starts like this. And then it always goes to this. And da, 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 da. And then we start to look at it. And we're like, why? Why do I always? And here's one that I heard recently a lot. I always attract narcissists. Well, number one, we're all a little narcissistic, just a little narcissistic. Own it. That's a good place to start. Own your narcissism and go, okay, I see some of my narcissism. Okay. But then do your damn work and figure out who you are. Okay. It's okay to have a little bit of narcissistic characteristics. We can all be a little selfish. We can all be a little self-centered. It's not all bad. Okay. But if we are willing to shift our gears and we, like I was having a conversation around food with somebody, and it's like, you can really tell, and I've noticed this in relationship, that I'll get into a relationship because I'm a pretty clean eater. I do have those moments that I fall down and, might go to and get a grilled cheese sandwich or something. But, for the most part, pretty clean eater, right? I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy high quality foods, high quality wine. I'm like, life is too short for bad eggs, bad wine, bad coffee, bad anything. I'm like, no, I would rather have less and it be damn good than it's, not be. So that's an important feature to me, just like traveling is an important thing to me. Being outdoorsy is an important thing to me. Playfulness is an important thing to me. Having a purpose, having a desire, knowing what you want in life, having goals, being health conscious, being family oriented. These are all really important to me. Spirituality is important to me. I can't deal with, it's not that you have to be hardcore religious or hardcore spiritual, but I need you to be able to be, peaceful, calm, taking responsibility for yourself, not egocentric. Okay? So key points with me, right? And when I'm looking at relationship, and I've noticed in past relationships, like my marriage, that number one, when it started out, we were pretty aligned because I was pretty fucked up. I was young, dumb, stupid, and trying to run away from my mom. So I managed to do that, and I got into a marriage damn quick, and I got into that marriage, and it took me 2 champagne bottles to say I do. And that's a sign for you, right? And I drank 2 champagne bottles to say I do. I said I do. And I woke up 5 years later going, what the hell? Where am I? What has happened? Because I was so out of alignment, because over that 5 years, I did a lot of work on me, and I started to figure out me. And then I woke up and I was like, this isn't me. This relationship isn't serving me. And I knew it at my core. I spent 5 years just in a coma and really quite depressed. Faked it well, held my shit together well, but I was not happy at my core, and I was not feeling myself at a deep level. And then, I carried that on for 12 years more. And I had some little episodes in there where I definitely, my soul, my spirit was screaming at me, thus screaming at the world and acting out. And there was a lot of signs, right down to the point that my physical health came crashing down on me because I was ignoring that I was so out of alignment with who I was. And that relationship was out of alignment with who I was. And then after that breakup, I ended up dating a bunch of people, and those men that I dated at one point, I had 11 boyfriends, right? And it was all open and authentic, and I would never want to do that again, but I highly recommend it to single people out there to date multiples, to learn yourself, because I learned so much from those 11 amazing men that came into my life, and some of them are still friends today. And such a blessing, because they taught me how to level up who I was. They brought in, hey Michael, hey Addison, they brought in, this whole new wave of consciousness, of really self-awareness to me. They showed me how to break the scarcity thinking that I had developed in my marriage, because I was so scattered and because I had no stability. My number one craving was stability. It was stability. That's all I wanted, was stability at hardcore level. Like nothing else mattered to me. I just wanted stability. And number 11 of those 11 men happened to be fucking stable as hell. He was so stable, so grounded, so boom, like a rock, like boom, like big humongous boulder, like, this boom, boom, yeah, big rock. Don't you love my sound effects? I always do like sound effects. I always feel goofy doing, but whatever, it's me. And so we ended up getting together, and we had 7, 8 years, whatever it was, two beautiful little boys, Gabe and Rowan, right? As you guys probably know if you've been following me for a while. So my youngest 2 babes, my little men. So Gabe and Rowan came out of that, and it was this beautiful experience, and I had rock solid stability. He also offered me, a push on my sexual boundaries. He taught me about who I was sexually and what I wanted and what I didn't want. So I really got to know myself. Like, he was such a great lesson teacher to me and so many different things. But what he provided me was that in his stability, I became hardcore stable at my core. I learned what stability felt like, and it became my norm. And here's the thing, when we're wanting to manifest stuff, no matter what it is, and no matter what, subject area in our life, when we look at the things that are not making us happy, that we want to change, that we want to develop, it's because we don't have them, right? Or it's because it's not showing up the way we want it to show up. And then we go, well, how do I get that? Well, we have to make it a normalcy. We have to make what is not, common right now, it has to become commonplace. It has to just be. We have to just expect it to just be there. And then that is what we will end up getting, because that's how manifestation works. It is that true feeling of it just being normal. So what ended up happening was I gained stability, and I gained the learning of my boundaries. I really got rock solid in different things inside myself. So I became more me in that relationship. He pushed me in different ways, and I got the opportunity to say no, to the point that our relationship didn't work anymore. It no longer served either one of us, because we weren't in alignment anymore. We were in alignment. It was good. Then it was like, we're not so good, and we're not good. And the alignment, that vibration frequency, it changed it. Now that was an open relationship, right? My marriage was a monogamous marriage. My relationship with him, with my youngest two's dad, it was an open relationship. So I had another man. I had a few men, but we're not going to go there. But my other primary, because I had two primary men. Now that man, oh my gosh, and all of you know, it's Brad, right? I talk about Brad here, Brad there, blah, 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 blah. This man, oh my God, what did he teach me? He, in the process of me gaining stability, what he taught me was about abundance. He took away the scarcity card, because with him, because of his financial stature, made it where I got to experience life without financial struggle. I got to experience, travel. I got to experience the finer things in life, the good bottle of wine, the really good food, the adventures, the travel, the shows, the nice jewelry, the nice clothes, just the easy breezy. And it was just so nice because it just came. He showed me how fucking easy it is to manifest abundance, wealth, greatness, fun, opportunity, good shit in every department. And he taught me about phenomenal sex. He taught me about my orgasmic potential. So he gave me like this beautiful gift of like, holy crap, I didn't know that my body could do that. I didn't know that my energy centers could do that. I didn't know that my heart could shake and could be penetrated like that. I didn't know that sex could literally take me to the outer realms and get me to touch the big toe of God. I didn't know that that was possible. I didn't know that it could be consistent. And I didn't know that I could just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I did not know that it was possible because I did not have that in my marriage, and I didn't have it in those other 10 relationships, and I didn't have it with Mr. Stability. That was different learning. But here, this relationship taught me about the juiciness. It taught me about the true yumminess of life, of love, of relationship, and of what I really truly wanted, of who I really was, and my capability, the potential, the limitless potential that life has and that relationship has, and that our hearts, when we open up and when we allow ourselves to really go there, what we are blessed with and what is possible for all of us. Right? So it was a beautiful, beautiful teaching relationship. And I thought that it was the relationship of the rest of my years. I did. I was like, I'm here. I am so here. Because everything, I was so open and so just madly, deeply, penetratively in love. And I still love him so deeply. Like, I am so eternally grateful. And I'm eternally grateful to Mr. Stability. And I am eternally grateful to my ex-husband for that, the lesson of wanting stability, and the lesson of learning who I was and coming to my core. And then the lesson of letting go of the fear, letting go of the scarcity, knowing that I am worthy of abundance, knowing that I am worthy of these great things in all subject areas of life, right? And that I can have stability, and it's easy to come by when we focus in on it without fear, when we actually have detachment to it, because it is just a normalcy. And that's what detachment is. Detachment is not, I don't need it, I'm not going to think about it, I'm just going to blah, blah, blah. No, detachment is that we just know with certainty that it's just there. There is this certainty aspect of that I know that that is there, and that it is just there, and it just shall be, and there it is. And there it is. It's just going to be there. Okay? Just like you probably are pretty damn certain that you can go, right? You can do that. You're pretty certain that you can breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Well, that's how you got to get with money. That's how you got to get with love. That's how you got to get with your health. That's how you got to get with stability. That's how you got to get with anything, is that it just has to become your norm. So yeah. So then what? I have other relationships in there that touched me in different ways, that taught me different things. But I moved on to this relationship of the last 3 years of my life after Mr. Stability. After being so freaking stable for all those years, and having, and both those relationships, that taught me about abundance and then taught me about stability, both of those ended within about 6-7 months of each other. And I moved on to, what did I really want? What was I writing in my journal? What was I saying to the universe? What was I calling in? playfulness. I wanted playfulness. I wanted somebody that made me laugh every day. I wanted somebody who loved touch. I wanted somebody who had a high sex drive. I wanted somebody who was totally into my family and would make my kids laugh and was willing to go do family adventures. Because guess what? Those two relationships prior, I didn't have that, right? I had play, I had adventure, but I had that. I didn't have that for my family. And I wanted somebody that my kids just freaking loved and enjoyed. And, it's just awesome in so many ways. And what did I do? In like a half a second, boom, here he is. Just boom. And I had decided, on some of the things, and yes, he brought things that I didn't want. He brought things, characteristics. I was like, oh, I'm not a fan of that. And, oh, that could be like, that's not a long-term thing right there. I don't know about that. And he had different things that I was not 100% with. But in general, he had everything that I was needing in that moment. And I knew what I needed. I knew that I needed lightheartedness. I couldn't do the serious of the mind. I couldn't do any of that. I had come through a really tough moment, and a couple tough moments, and I just needed light. I just needed easy. I just needed joyful. I just needed playful. I just needed my family to have laughter and ease and flow. Because I had the stability down. I understood how I could have abundance, right? And you know what? I sacrificed some of the things that I knew that, I was hopeful that it could be built, but I didn't have this, it wasn't a surge. There wasn't that surge there, but it felt really good. It was a really good feeling. And there was a joy that came over me that penetrated me, and it felt really good. And what I got that lesson in there, that I could have the playfulness, and that I could have the connection in my family, and I could have the joy with my romantic relationship and still have family, attention, adventures, all these different things. And with that, I could also have so much more. And what it did was it made me hungry. It made me hungry for more. It made me hungry for more. I wanted that relationship that I had back there with Brad, where I had that deep heart connection, where I had the abundance of just being able to just experience just the yumminess of life. And going deeper. I wanted to go deeper. And I tried to go deeper. But, energy is a funny thing. You try to go and you think you're going, but then there's this resistance inside. And when things are not aligned, you will feel the resistance. And it shows up in different ways. It shows up with anxiety. It shows up with your thinking. It shows up with, fatigue. It shows up with just numbers of things. And that's what ended up happening. And I had forewarned, because I felt my inner cage rocking and getting tousled around, and I was like, woo, we're gonna have some problems here, because I know that I'm healing. I'm doing my work. So over that 3-year relationship, I went back and I started doing clearing work. I started doing healing work around the relationships prior, around my life, around the things, and I started really analyzing, what do I want? And I started practicing the things that I preach, the things that I teach to people every single day when I'm working with them, and I'm showing them, how do you go from here to here like this, right? Because I believe that the only thing that slows us down in our manifesting is us. It's just us. We are the ones with the fucking timeline. That's it. We're the ones with the timeline. We're the ones that think that we have to pay the price, that we have to suffer, that we have to do this, that we have to do that we can't just have something manifest overnight. Oh, but we can. We can have the most scrumptious, yummy, beautiful, amazing, spectacular things manifest right before us. It's like a black hole of manifesting just goes poof. It pops open and it's like, boom, there you go. There's what you wanted. There's everything that you wanted. It is right there. All you have to do is say yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes to what you want. And that's what started happening to me. And it occurred slowly at first, almost to the point that I didn't even recognize it, that I didn't notice. I'm pretty good at blocking my own shit sometimes. Go figure. I'm human. And I started, I was doing my journaling, I was reading different things, teaching classes, and I was having these little moments little moments that grew, little moments that expanded, little moments that started to elevate me. And I started talking about, like, so I always told him, I said, you only are getting 10% of me. You have 10% of me and you fucking think it's phenomenal. And I'm scared of when I elevate this shit, of when I really lean into me, when I really let down this armor, when I really allow myself to be penetrated by the world again, to be penetrated by the universe, by this energy, and I lean back into my power. Then what's going to happen? And something inside of me told me, you can't handle it. Like, you can't handle it. And if you go back to some of my articles over the summer, you're going to find articles about, like, you can't handle the wild woman. You're going to see articles about that kind of stuff, because I was writing about it, because it was stirring inside of me. And anytime you see me writing, it is actually exactly what I am going through, or people in my life are going through right there in that moment. It is very real world, very in the moment, in the flow of the energy. So I was writing about that stuff all summer, and I was getting caught in the feels of just yumminess and what I wanted, and I could taste it, and it was just right there, and my energy was shifting and shifting and shifting, and I was holding it and holding it and holding it and holding it. And guess what that did? It caused this irritation in my core. Right? It caused irritation in my core, and it caused this friction, and it caused my soul to want to break free of the shackles that I put it in. And it caused me to kind of erupt my own energy. And as that energy changed, well, as with all my relationships, it seems to be, I kind of get out easily. I mean, sometimes it doesn't always appear that it's easy, because there's shit that happens, but I recognize it as being easy out. Like, I don't have to do a lot to get out of a relationship. The energy just shifts, and then shit just goes bloop, bloop, and relationship gone. And it's like I just take in a breath and I exhale, and the relationship's gone. And that's kind of what happened. It was just this easy experience of, here it is, there's massive tension, constriction, this pullback, and then poof, and relationship just disintegrated. It disintegrated because the energy shifted so much. The alignment was no longer there. It had not been there for probably 4 or 5 months, hardcore, and it was that slow building irritation. But once I leaned into my core and into alignment with myself, it caused the relationship to completely transform. Okay? And here's what I want to bring to you, and all my sharing of my relationships here. What I want to get through to you is that relationship alignment is key. It is absolute key. And we tend to hold on with ferociousness out of what we call love, but it's not love. We hold on often to relationship based in fear. We hold on because we want to control, because we believe that we can fix it, because we believe that if this and this and this was different, then the relationship would happen. And I encourage you that if you're feeling some constriction in your relationship, to number one, go to your core and check in with yourself. Like, does this relationship support who I am? Do I support who this person is that I'm with? Am I coming at this relationship from love, actual love? Because love can handle the breakup. Love is going to support whatever is best for each individual, and it's not going to want to hold on, damage, the relationship or the people in it. Love is going to allow the individuals to breathe into who they are and support them and support however the relationship needs to go. Where fear, which comes out as control, as jealousy, as anger, as, manipulation, as doing some pretty shitty things to each other that we do in relationship, all that comes out. And if that's going on, then it's fear that is holding us there. It's scarcity, probably. It is jealousy. It is, what am I going to do? I remember one of my relationships telling me, "You're leaving me." He told me, he said, how can you leave me at the point that I need you the most, at the lowest point possible? He's like, "I really need you." And I was like, well, but you're vibrating way down here and I'm vibrating up here, and these two don't go together. Like, you've got to get to you. I can't pull you up. And here's the thing. We cannot pull anybody else up. It is not our responsibility. We will never succeed at it. All we can do is hold our alignment. That's it. If you want to help this world, you want to help your relationship, you want to help your children, you want to help your friends, you want to help people that you're working with, whatever it is, realize that the only fucking thing that you can do is be in alignment, get in alignment, stay in alignment, stay in alignment, stay in alignment to your core, to the universe. Keep your energy levels high, keep your frequency high, and don't let anybody knock you off your what's the word I'm looking for, people? Your plateau there. Don't let people take you off of that, the pedestal. That's the word, pedestal. Don't let anybody take you off of your pedestal, because that pedestal, that's how you support. That's how you have more than enough with plenty left over to give in multiple ways. You're never going to be of any use to anybody else if you are vibing low, okay? Low vibing people have nothing to offer, okay? Nothing. Because your vessel's not growing, you're not expanding, there's no energy to give, you can't manifest, you're not abundant in anything, you're just a bunch of sourpusses running around, focused on scarcity, focused on fear. And who wants to be around that? And who wants to get with that? And who wants any of that? It's not attractive. It isn't. And guess what? We are in an attraction-based universe. So high vibe is attractive. And it's attractive, not just sexually attractive, not just romantically attractive, not just relationship attractive. It's attractive for abundance. It's attractive for health. It's attractive for well-being. It is attractive for support. And that is how we can support each other in every way possible, is to stay on that pedestal and not let ourselves get knocked off of it. Instead, look for the next pedestal and raise the bar for ourselves. And that's what your relationships, those teacher relationships, should be doing for you, is they should be lifting the bar for you consistently. And then you should just start to know your worth, and there should become a normalcy to what you desire, to what you have, to what shows up, because you're vibing so fucking high. And then when you get these low vibe relationships, and maybe that's your spouse, maybe that's your girlfriend or your boyfriend, maybe that's, maybe you got 10 lovers, and maybe it's 9 of them, I don't know, maybe it's your sister, your bestie, your kid even, unfortunately. But here's the thing, you can't change their vibration. You're not responsible for their emotions, you're not responsible for their actions, you're not responsible for the thoughts that they're thinking, and you're sure as fuck not responsible for their energy. And you cannot change their energy. You can give them little flickers of change by popping around, and they can basically become like little leeches and feed off of you for a second, and they go, oh man, that feels so good to be around you, and I feel on top of the world. As long as I'm attached, as long as I'm sucking you dry, then I feel good. Well, that's a vampire. Okay, that's what a vampire is. That's called an energy vampire, and that happens a lot in relationship. Like the relationships that I discussed in Matt, like my marriage was kind of a vampire situation toward the end. And it was like I was increasing, and he was getting his energy from me. And as soon as I went, I can't do this, and I went, boom, he was like, oh my God, hungry, 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 hungry. Where'd you go? How could you do this to me? Oh my God, this is bad. And the same thing has occurred in different relationships, right? And now you might be able to see that in some of your relationships if you look back at those teacher relationships, or maybe even the relationship that you have right now, or maybe different. And I'm not just talking romantic. Look at your friendships too, okay? Because this happens in all relationships. We're guilty of doing it to people, and people are guilty of doing it to us. But when we get into that vampire mix, guess what? We're not in alignment. Okay, that means that we are feeding somebody temporarily and they are draining us. And when we decide to no longer be their food source, well, there's this irritation that happens and our frequency changes, and all of a sudden, it's also called codependency. So if you're in a codependent relationship, that's a vampire-based relationship, and it causes this to happen. And then when you get sick and tired of being drained, when you get sick and tired of being everything for somebody, and that they are only confident, they are only living well, they are only happy when you are there feeding them, then you have to realize that that relationship is not serving either party. because maybe you feel like you're serving them because you're giving to them, but you're not serving them because you're draining yourself. And as long as you're draining yourself, then you are going to bring yourself down. And like we said, low vibe people have nothing to offer. And codependent relationships end up being low vibe, and it ends up being where two people have nothing to offer, and therefore it's utter chaos and destruction and pain and suffering and all that stuff going on, and it means that that relationship is out of alignment. So I want you to look at the relationships that you've had, at the relationship that you have, or relationships that you have in all departments, and I want you to really like lean in and go, do these serve me? Am I serving the relationship? Am I in alignment? Do I feel this friction? Am I scared of being who I am in this relationship? Am I terrified of really stepping into my power because I'm afraid I'm going to lose this? That's a key question to ask. If you're scared of stepping into your power in any area of your life, of really turning on your motherfucking light and being the amazing fucking person that you are, because you're terrified that you're going to lose the relationship that you have right now, then FYI, that relationship is not in alignment with your core. It's just not. You're not aligned. The two of you are not aligned. The relationship that is aligned has you wanting for more, has you believing that life is limitless, has you believing that you are fully supported, that you can completely be there, has you expanding, elevating, evolving together and individually. That is the aligned relationship. That's the relationship that we all want. You can't even say that you don't want it, because you do want it. It's amazing, right? It's breathtaking. It opens you up. It expands you. It's heart cracking. It's soul just expansion. It's mushy, gushy, and all that yummy stuff. Juicy as fuck. And it demands you to stay on that pedestal. It demands you to grow, and you're not scared to grow and to expand, because you know that you elevating yourself is going to elevate that relationship, because you know that the two of you individually and together are at your core, and that you're coming together at your core, and that you're meeting at your core. I wrote an article a while back in October called meeting in the wound, or a meeting in the healing, or something like that. And I was talking about how we get together often in relationship. We come together in wounds, and that's how we attract each other, is that we come together in this wound, and it's a weak spot, low vibe, right? And then what ends up happening in those relationships is what I just discussed. Two people come together at a low vibe, and they connect, and like, oh my God, we're so alike. We're so this, we're so that. And then what happens is a little bit of time goes on, and one person starts to heal. And if that person starts to heal, if this person's not doing their work and not healing, then this person's still stuck in their wound, and then this person starts doing their work, and then guess what? This person starts to increase, and then there's that irritation, and the alignment issue comes into play. So it's like, that's a teacher relationship. It's working us through our wound. It's teaching us different things. It's helping us to heal, right? This is beautiful. But we have to get right with letting go of the teacher relationships, because the more we hold on to those teacher relationships, the more we condemn ourselves, and the more we prevent ourselves from actually having that soul-based connected relationship, the thing that we are all wanting, that we are all striving for. It's right there, as long as we get really good with recognizing the relationships for what they are, and leaning in and listening to our heart, listening to our soul, and really truly being in alignment to our core. Because when we're aligned to our core, then we can be aligned to the relationship of our dreams. And that's the ticket, guys. That is the ticket. So I don't know if that made any sense or not. Hopefully it did. Somebody will tell me something, I'm sure. And I see that my awesome ninja put on here dandelion images for you guys to check out for her photo shoot. That's my daughter and everything. Let me see if there's anything on here. Nope. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to make a commitment to you guys. Commitment is that for the month of December, until the 29th of December, because I don't know, I'm going to Colorado, and I don't know what my Wi-Fi will be like, so I'm going to make a commitment that to the 29th of December, I will do conscious coffee every single day because I need to kick my own ass and get back in the groove. And yeah, and I'm at a whole new point in my life, in my vibration, in my heart, in my soul, with everything going on. I'm definitely in a beautiful, beautiful space, and I want to share that daily with you guys. And I just want to give you guys back the conscious coffee that I started so many years ago that has touched so many people's lives. And yeah, I'll just get back on the bicycle here of conscious coffee, and catch you guys when I catch you guys with coffee each and every day until the 29th for sure. And if I can keep it going on that trip, then I will do it every single day, even live from Colorado. Hey, you guys love to travel with me, right? I've been live from many, many places through the years, so we will see. But yeah, so all right, I'm gonna get out of here and go write an article for you guys now. I love you guys. As always, remember, stop existing, start living, own your power, get into alignment with your core, get into alignment with this beautiful universe. Stop fucking fearing life. Realize that life is supportive of you, and that you were born worthy and you don't have to do anything to maintain that. You are just worthy. And the ticket for today that I want you to really focus in on is, what do you want to make normal in your life? Like, what is the things that you really want to make normal? Because that's the stuff that you need to focus in on, and you need to just start to believe in and have certainty about. Because when you normalize things, when you make what is unfamiliar familiar and what is unfamiliar unfamiliar, that's how you make that shift in life. That's how you manifest the things that you want to manifest. That's how you really call it in, okay? But you've got to get aligned to who the fuck you are. Okay, that's what you have to do. You have to be aligned to you. And that's how you help this world. That's how you call in your dream lover. That's how you call in your dream bank account. That's how you call in your dream lifestyle and living that fuck yes life that I'm always talking about. That you can even live in the time of 2020. You know, ooh, bad 2020. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can. 2020 has been a fucking phenomenal year. Beautiful year, amazing, transformative, powerful, loving, absolutely phenomenal year. I don't know how yours was, but mine was that. So have a little bit of gratitude for what 2020 has offered you, being the teacher year of transformation. And lean in and stop existing. Stop accepting the scarcity of this world as your own. And instead, lean into your abundance, lean into your worthiness. Okay, guys, I will catch you tomorrow with another conscious coffee. Catch you then.